When Rosa Parks didn't give up her seat, it was planned. And so she was chosen to become the image of the Montgomery bus boycott.
Crime, Character, and Consequences. Welcome to Crime, Character, and Consequences. On this channel, I often discuss crime, sometimes I discuss character, and I typically like to add in a good dose of consequences to either of those two. I would like to thank you for being here, and let's get started. The world loves a good moral story, one that massages the emotions. Some stories become legends that are built into the fabric of society. Such stories have a very strong pull on the collective psyche, and because of this, those who want to move society towards a particular direction know how to use the power of a good story to influence the desired outcome. In this case, the good moral story becomes the narrative. Many will say the end justifies the means, and that the means are simply strategy. But people are still human. Eventually, the truth is uncovered. People don't want to be lied to, regardless of the outcomes. People don't want their heroes tarnished. People don't want truths to become myths. When we elevate humans to saints, we do so because we assign highly favored characteristics to them. Keyword here is character. If a person tells a lie because they thought the outcomes of the lie is necessary for the greater good, are we to question their character? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. As I delve deeper into this particular time in history, I'm beginning to think that this might be a series rather than one or two videos. And quite frankly, I am eager to get started and share this with you. So first, let's start by uncovering the reality upon which the lie was built. We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
Did you know a black woman refused to give up her seat and was arrested before Rosa Parks? Claudette Colvin was born in 1939 and is best known for her bravery in resisting segregation on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. At the age of 15, she refused to give up her seat to a white person, an act of defiance that predated Rosa Parks' famous protest by 9 months. Colvin's brave act of resistance sparked a movement. Her refusal to give up her seat on a bus helped to galvanize the civil rights movement and bring about change in America.
When it comes to the Montgomery bus boycotts and the civil rights movement of the 1960s, one would assume that those in charge would preserve history and commend those who pushed the movement for equality forward. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, as evidenced by the story of Claudette Colvin, a young black girl who was the first person to refuse to give up her seat to a white woman on a bus. That's right, before Rosa Parks, there was Claudette Colvin. Parks was chosen as the face of the Montgomery bus boycotts for a variety of reasons, leaving Colvin largely forgotten about amongst civil rights leaders, the city of Montgomery, and the general public. While a student at the segregated Booker T. Washington High School in Montgomery, Alabama, Claudette Colvin took the bus home frequently. Due to segregation laws at the time, seats in the front of the bus were designated for white passengers, and seats in the back of the bus were for black passengers. Blacks were also allowed to sit in the middle, but if one white person wanted to sit in the middle, then all the black people in that row were supposed to get up and move further back.
Once upon a time, it was March the 2nd, 1955. As I recall, we got out of school early that afternoon, and because I live on the other side of town from my school, it was a special bus that picked us up and take, to and fro.
This was a city bus?
City bus, a city bus.
Okay.
We call it the special.
Okay.
But instead of waiting for the special, the teenagers, we decided we would just walk downtown and browse around.
Okay.
We walked downtown. Well, none of us had any money, so we saw Dexter and Bainbridge.
Okay.
That directly across the street from Dr. King's church. We boarded the bus at that time. There wasn't too many people on the bus at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we sit in the seat where we usually sit, the seats that was assigned for At that time, we were called colored, for colored people.
Okay.
As the bus proceeded on down Dexter Avenue, more white passengers got on the bus. So the bus was at full capacity, and then the bus driver, this white lady was, she wasn't an elderly white lady, she was a young white woman, was sitting standing near me. And in order for this white lady to sit, you had to vacate 4 seats.
Why? Was she that big? Why did she need 4 seats?
Because colored people wasn't allowed to sit opposite white people, across the aisle.
So the seats were 2 by 2, but if a white person sat in one of those seats, the whole bench had to be clear because you couldn't be across from them.
No, that's right. That's correct. So the three students reluctantly got up and stood up, but I don't know.
One of you wasn't so reluctant, and
No.
let me guess, it was you.
It was me. And most people ask, why didn't you get up when the bus driver asked you to get up? I tell them I could not move because history had me glued to the seat. And they say, how is that? And I said, well, it felt like Sojourner Truth's hands were pushing me down on one shoulder, and Harriet Tubman's hands were pushing me down on the other shoulder.
You had to have known what was coming.
No, I didn't. As a teenager, I didn't know, and at that time, I had a teenager mind. Remember, the reason why I said that history had me glued to the seat, because February was Negro History. At that time, it wasn't legally Negro History Month. It was a Negro History Week.
You didn't know it, but you were in the process of making history.
I didn't know it. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was going to be I was going to be part of history, or that was going to be a movement. All I wanted is that bus audience to know that this colored girl was tired of Jim Crow and wasn't going to take it anymore.
Attorney Gray told us that Miss Colvin, his client, was used like so many other African Americans during those turbulent times, that is, as an example.
She was not a delinquent. Matter of fact, she was an honored student. What they were seeking to do was to enforce the segregation laws, which required the separation of the races on the buses, and gave the bus drivers police power to enforce her.
When they come on the bus, and they said, "Girl, why are you sitting there?" I said, "I paid my fare. It is my constitutional right."
And how did that go, my dear?
And that didn't move. I said constitutional rights, and I don't know whatever happened. The one grabbed one arm, and I was manhandled. All the passengers said I was manhandled backwards off the bus because I refused to stand up. I refused to stand up.
That night that you spent in jail, how long were you in jail, and what was going through your mind? Were you scared to death?
Oh, Lord. Well, okay, I'm a teenager. I had a teenager mind. And the fear didn't come on, I tell this story, the fear didn't come on me when I was booked. Oh, they were saying, the policeman was saying a lot of obscene stuff, that they were going to send me to Ardmore prison. After they booked me, I got back in the car, and I said, what? This is, I don't think a juvenile detention center is here. So they was in this direction, because most of the places in the one little small town. Mm-hmm. But they took me to the city jail, and they adult jail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I got locked inside, and that's when the fear came over me. I'm a Baptist. So I was saying all the 23rd song.
So you were praying.
Oh, yeah.
Did you think you were going to make it out of there? Do you think you were going to die?
No, I didn't think I was going to die. I thought I was going to get raped. So you know what I did? I had thought I was going to get raped. And I would look for a hairpin to stick in my hair.
Uh-huh.
So I said, I know I'm going to get raped, but I was going to put a print on this man. I would know what I was going to do. When he finished raping, by the time he I'm going to stick this in his ears. Stick this hairpin in his ear. But I was, that's what I was thinking. That's what was going on in my mind. But you know what what it come back to do, it wasn't to rape me, it was to take my fingerprint. I was fingerprinted, so that's what it was, a relief, and they put me back. But I did not sleep. That one time I did not sleep. I just kept letting words go in my head, I started spelling everything that I could spell, doing anything that, I said, I'm not going to. No, I was afraid to fall asleep because I didn't know what was going to happen to me after I was, locked in. When you're locked in, fear.
Yeah, you're locked in. Yeah.
Fear.
Let's
Once Miss Claudette Colvin was released from jail, her family sought a lawyer, and word spread amongst the local activists, one of those being Rosa Parks. Did you know that Claudette's family knew Rosa Parks' family, and that they were quite familiar with Rosa herself? Today, very few know about Claudette's terrifying yet courageous event. However, it became the script for the Rosa Parks planned event 9 months later. Please like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so that we can reconvene for part 2 and what happened next. This is Crime, Character, and